stopping people from the language is less violent than war. This is a quote which I got from Wingman Smith, which is a quote that was utilized in Gloria Anzaldua's text, How to Tame a Wild Tongue. So after reading Anzaldua's text, I became empowered due to her story and her backstory from a Chicana. I was able to relate very much to her, and I feel like she really was able to convey what she wanted, which was that we shouldn't be able to let people tame our tongue, and that we should be able to talk however way we want in whichever language we want, no matter a certain place. Since she was told to only talk academic English at school, that if she talked Spanish or was caught talking Spanish in school, she shouldn't even belong here in the U.S. I was able to relate a lot to her, and since I did become empowered and inspired to her text, I really wanted this project to be something that other people could be inspired from what I did. Since I know that people shouldn't be told what language to talk and they shouldn't be told to tame their tongue. So today I will be presenting about my genre response and what I use, as well as the purpose, the audience, my overall genre, and any constraints or limitations that did happen throughout this project, and how I was able to overcome it. So today, for my speech, I will be talking about my purpose, the audience, genre, and overall what I want to convey through this. So to begin with, my overall purpose for my genre, which I also say which genre I selected. My overall purpose and what I'm trying to communicate to the audience is that we shouldn't be told to tame our tongue, and we shouldn't be told which language we should be speaking in which places. I think that we should be able to talk whichever language you want. We shouldn't be told that if you want to speak Spanish, just speak it at your house. You can't be speaking it here in certain places, or be told that you're talking too much Spanish, talking too much English. Overall, I feel like that really causes a lot of people a lot of identity crisis, since language does make up a big part of a person's identity. It causes them to feel less of a certain place where they talk a certain language, such as feeling less Mexican because you're talking less Spanish, or less American for some people if you're talking less English in certain places. So my purpose for this project is that I want people to feel empowered. I want them to feel as if they can be told what to do when it comes to their language and their identity, and how they want to use their language. So the audience that I do want to be addressing or trying to convince, my my point or my position on language, my intended audience is towards Chicanas and Chicanos, due because I know that Anzaldua's intended audience was them, and that intended audience is me, a Chicana. And I think it was very easy for me to be able to relate to Anzaldua's text, and it became very inspiring since I was able to relate to someone who was able to pretty much say everything that I've been thinking of. And I think that's very important to relate to your writer, because I think it creates a great connection between the writer and the audience. So the genre that I did choose was a poster, and the way in which I'm trying to convince my audience is not to overwhelm the audience with anything, such as not trying to put a lot of things to my poster, writing a bunch of paragraphs or anything like that. I'm just trying to go straight to the point, a way in which you could both visually see what I'm trying to convey, as well as read a bit or read a couple quotes that will automatically let you convey what I'm trying to tell them. So I decided to choose a poster because of that. I think it's very impactful, and as people say, a picture worth 1,000 words. I think a poster is also a poster conveys 1,000 meanings. I think that depending which place you look at first, it will impact the audience very different ways, but yet it will have the same impact overall. I do want the audience to feel as if I do want them to feel empowered through my poster, as well as feeling as if their language is theirs and no one can take that language away from them. So any constraints, I will go over my many constraints, and soonly I will show my poster. So any constraints which I did go through my poster, it was that I felt as if I had to put more things in it, and I wanted to add more and more, but I wasn't able to because the poster you could put so much in it. But yeah, I was just able to go around it because I think it's better to go in a more simple term and not cause the audience to feel too overwhelmed because of what you put there. I don't want anyone to feel as if they're just reading definitions or they're reading paragraphs and not be able to understand anything. I just wanted to go through some pictures, a couple pictures were just straightforward, which showcase my intended audience and who I wish my poster could be shown to, as well as some quotes which I think are very impactful, straightforward, that I believe they were, and I believe they all showcase my position on language, which is that your language is yours, and no one should be telling you which language you should be speaking in certain places. So, I will now showcase my poster, which is this. So I decided to title my poster Unable to Tame a Wild Tongue due to being myself inspired from Anzaldua's text. And I think it's a very meaningful quote. I don't think it's very, I believe it's not very straightforward, maybe as a metaphor or something that will really get the audience thinking as to what I mean from that. And the second line says, our language belongs to us, which is true and which is what I'm mainly trying to convey through my poster. And I think that if you just read a bit from my poster and just read that, I feel like that already has a great impact in itself. And the quote which I bolded, which I believe is a very impactful quote, is the quote, "Who is to say that robbing people of its language is less violent than war?" by Ray Gwyn Smith. I think that his language, as I soonly read it through Anzaldua's text, it was very impactful throughout the entire text, and I knew what she wanted to convey through it, even if I didn't have to read the whole text. Okay, and in the bottom left, I decided to add raise your voice for those who are afraid to speak out. And by this, I just mean that no one should be able to let people tell which language you should speak, and there are a lot of people who can't speak up for themselves. So if you're able to speak up, you should be able to speak up because you don't know how much of a difference you'll make it to others. And through my poster, I also want to add some images. For some imagery, such as here in the most obvious part, it's a U.S. flag as well as a Mexican flag, which showcases that I do want to address this poster to Chicanos that identify as both Mexican and their American side. And in the bottom, I decided to add a girl who is holding a banner which is brown and proud. I'm the next generation, which I wish is very impactful, since I do believe my intended audience might be younger people or people that still can't really find their purpose, and that to let them know that they are the next generation, that they're able to change and impact society in a new way in which they want. So that is my point on my poster. I want to convey and showcase to Chicanos that our language is ours and no one should be able to take that away from us. I want to be able to convey to them that, well, my own position on language, that no one could take away from your language, and I very much agree with Anzaldua's position on this. So overall, today I shared about my audience, my poster, what my poster showcased, and the reasons behind why I chose certain things, my own position on language, and what I hope this audience could also agree with overall. So to finish this off, I believe that our language is ours. No one should be able to take your language away from you. You get to decide what you want to speak, who you want to speak it to, which location, everything you want. You shouldn't feel the societal pressure, which is that you should be talking only a certain language in certain places. You shouldn't be cut off from your native roots, and your language is yours. No one should be able to take that. And always remember to raise your voice for those who are too afraid to speak up. Thank you.